Hello everyone, welcome back to Blueprints. Let's continue, we're on day 22. It's been, God, 24, 25 hours, something like that now? Probably even longer by now. But there are still so many puzzles left to be solved. Da da. Bum bum. Bum bum. I guess we went to the sauna last time. So last time we had a picture, not a picture, last time we had the guy from Big, the genie, the whatever. He said that there was something missing from here. I don't know what it is. I need to go back to my old videos and see, like, look where I looked over here and see what I missed. Because apparently there's something missing from here. Do I have the crown? I don't have the crown. Alright. So here's our potential trophies. We're still far from getting everything. Let's go out. We'll see what our underground room is today. Also, we could just go straight to the foundation and start building some stuff from there. Like, we have an easy path to get to the foundation now. So we don't need to worry too much anymore about potentially getting locked in. Or at least we have an extra 3 openings. So we have 6 potential rooms we can draft right now. Is there any more down here? No. Let's see if those respawn next time. Also, I want to try to get on this side of the house, down on that end. And for that, we need the garage. So that's one of our goals. Find the garage. Get it powered. Get outside. Alright, we got the trading post, the root cellar, and the hovel. You know, we have a lot of steps. Let's take the hovel. We already got that. And of course, we are trying to place the major rooms so that we can get the chess pieces. So we discovered a place where we can place chess pieces on a board. I believe that all these chess pieces we found in rooms... Where are they? Here they are. We have one of each white piece. And I think we just need to place one of each of these rooms that have a white piece, have one of the white pieces, like her ladyship's chamber, which has the only one with the white queen, and the office, which has the white king. And then we can go down at the end of the day and mark that. Hey, we already have this one. That's cool. So I recorded that we've finished that one. So that's a thing. That's a goal. Place the chess piece rooms. Get the garage open. I would also like to, if possible, well, of course, always drafting more rooms is something, but I want to start recording which rooms have conduits in them. And then in the future, we'll try to place things that have conduits. Stick a green room to get to the far side. And we get a lever. The observatory. How many stars are we at today? Draxus the Dead. Dead end rooms are more common today. Well, that's not good. That's unfortunate. Anything to look at up here? I don't think so. So this is a night room. The coat check, which has the rabbit foot. Or the bedroom, which would turn us back in. Let's take the bedroom. And let me just, like I said, I want to note which rooms have conduits. So maybe I should be writing stuff down. Let's make a new note. Conduits. No conduits. So the green room, or what was that called? The spare green room. Spare green room. And there's nothing here that says it, right? No. Okay, and then the observatory does not have conduits. The entry hall. The bedroom. No conduits. Not much of anything here. Unfortunately, the den's facing the wrong direction. Let's get the mailroom. Because we already have access to this draft. We can draft that from the entrance hall. So this is a fine place for a dead end. Order placed. I don't remember this. Simon, my name is Randolph Moore. I'm the lead lab technician at Cinca, and I've worked here at Mount Holly for over a decade. I was thrilled to discover you have found our humble lab and have begun to run some experiments on your own. I tend to keep an eye on the small spikes in radiation levels on the estate, as it's one of the only ways I can monitor your progress from the outside. All off-site connections to the terminal network have been disabled during your stay. There's been much speculation among the staff about the progress you've been making in the house, and they were all quite excited when I reported that you've been successfully running experiments. I wanted to write to you to let you know that even though you may not see us, we are rooting for you. Best of luck on the experiments, and if you like, I'll continue sending letters with some helpful tips. Can I see this? So this is Archeries. So we have a stamp, Archeries. The stamp is blue. Stamp, blue, number 5. Looks like it's industrial. Looks like it's a factory, right? Or maybe it's a city. I don't know. They won't let me zoom in on it. This was our letter from Dad. And that's Fennery's. But yeah, I swear this was not there before. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just maybe I just missed it. Oh, well that's convenient. This is just the note about the, this, which we've already gotten. The indicators in the fuse box room. We did that. Can I see that in greater detail? Together we weather. And it's got lightning bolts. Together we weather lightning bolts. And that, I don't know, it looks like industrial to me. With the plume of smoke coming up. I don't know. Hard to judge. And Fennery's, let's take another look at that. In fog we are lost. In fire we are found. Yeah. Ooh, my apologies. That's loud. Sorry about that. There was some kid on a moped going by outdoors. Okay, so we hit a dead end. Mail room is a non-conduit room. Unfortunately, I'm not a fan of any of these. I guess I'll take security. So he said, while now that we have completed, you know, we've what's it called? We've already won our inheritance. Offline mode to unlocked, confirmed real quick. Let's see if the outside connections are actually up again. The network. Are they just gonna leave me offline for the entire game? Or if there's any new emails or something like that. Bye home, bye home. I have to go to the office for that email. Data transfers are not currently available. Ooh, I don't like these rooms. You know, this would actually be good. That, because right now I have no use for gems. So getting the study would give me a use for gems. Here's the chessboard. So this room is all about trying to teach us about the text, which we already figured out. We'd already figured out before we got here. The room, the map says, where is it? If we count small gates, 8 gates crack 8 safes. And you have another safe here that we don't know how to get into. This is the Black Queen room. Oh, and this study is not a conduit room, right? Yeah, no conduits. And I think security is not also, but I'll have to go back and look. I've been reluctant to just start guessing random dates. Does that say anything? No, this says Cinca Inc. Because, you know, it says eight dates, crack 8 saves, so it's some date. We know that one of the dates was Christmas, 12/25. We have a ton of dates. Where's my date register? Here's a bunch of dates. But what would, you know, be related to this? I have some other dates too, like in what about this? 0412? No. There's got to be something that points us in the right direction with these dates. Because there's just nothing we've seen seems related to these dates, related to the safes. So like this would be Samantha's, well, our mom's, one of our fake aliases. Date of birth was on 112. Nah. Our crest was 1213. Nope. 0615, June 15th. Nope. $9083. $45292. Nah. There's got to be something that points us in the right direction that we just don't have yet. Maybe when we get the chessboard, maybe when we get the chess puzzle solved, it'll give me a clue as to which date is appropriate to use here. All right. So security does have conduits. So security is our first conduit room. And now back to the entrance hall. This is our chances to redraw based on, yeah. Let's redraw, otherwise we're dead-ended. I mean, again, we're dead-ended. But we can't start from the foundation. Maybe it's best just to get the dead-ended rooms out of the way. And 4 items might be good. And let's see if I'm right about us being able to get to that foundation. I think I am, but I should have grabbed those in opposite order. I'm a little worried I might have left the boat wrong. No, there's no way to leave the boat wrong. It's fine. So here's nuance, right? It's like one of the few references to nuance we've ever had in the game so far. Yeah, I've been down there. That's where the chess puzzle is. And that was the first time down there. There's a book that teaches you a bit about the crests, the signals, signets, heraldry. That seems to be like the end game. This is the wrong way. I'm just wasting my steps. I don't have the key card. Oh. Well, then we're done. We can't go anywhere else. Wasted day. Ooh, that's something I'm gonna have to consider. Like, from now on, we should try to always leave the elevator down. I forgot entirely about that. Oh, okay, we can at least get this done. We can plug in this upgrade disc to the security area. But then we're done. We're closed off. What a crappy day. Too many dead-end rooms. What was it that we got that made it have have dead end rooms? Don't remember. I don't remember. What did we get that made us let me get more dead end rooms? We got something. Oh, it was the observatory, right? Oh, the closet. One extra item if drafted adjoined to a hallway. 2 extra if adjoined to a bedroom. 4 extra if adjoined to a red room. Okay, so it's 2, 2, and 0. And this would be another red room. An empty closet. These are all kind of terrible. So my thought is that I might actually be more likely to grab this closet if it's next to a red room. Because red rooms tend to have multiple doors. Whereas a hallway also, again, might have multiple doors. But a bedroom is usually 1 door or 2 doors. So a closet coming off a bedroom is always a complete dead end. And so we're more likely to choose something else, another containing room. I'll take the red one. We might never draft that room ever again. And I think we're done. There's nothing we can do today. Wasted our sauna buff. Call it a day. Humble bungalow. Because we didn't get very many rooms. Well, that was an embarrassing day. No, the coins do not respawn. That's too bad. But if we were to fill the fountain up, we could start putting more coins in. Bum bum. Let's draft a bit. I'll take the hallway. We'll go out and get our outside room. Well, let's do it now. Let's do it now. Here's our... Oh, that's nice. So maybe we set ourselves up nicely for today's run. I mean, in the first room, we have 2 keys, 2 gems, and 24 coin. That's not nothing. Dum. Bum bum. Bum bum. Bum bum. So last time we got the root cellar, we never found a shovel the entire game. It was very frustrating. Let's take a shelter. Like, if we can avoid some of those red effects, like, those red rooms are good rooms, except for their effects are so negative. So we've already been in here, I believe, and we already opened the safe, although it's not open now. No items or anything. So my thought about the about the game, about the story, is that our mom was a bit silly and played the revolutionary a bit too hard and ended up getting slammed for it or attempted to be disappeared for it. And our great uncle protected her, and she disappeared, and now she's somewhere unknown. Maybe she's just gone. The empty closet. Well, not yet. Let's grab the nook. Bum bum. Bum bum. So, this is a barren room. There's not much point. I don't want to waste this because those dig spots will all be empty. Let's do the spare green room and get further north. Corridor? Oh, I'm forgetting to check. So the nook. I'm gonna check. In this hallway? No conduits in the nook. No conduits in the hallway. Or the corridor. I want the garage. I need the garage, but we need to power it on. I need both of these rooms. I'll take the garage for now. It's a dead end. And I won't go... Well, I should go in because there might be a tool in here. We don't have power, though. Can't get out. Any tool? No. And we can't get in anymore. We were in there once. The lab? Get an experiment going? This is the one I'm trying to get the conduit to go to. And I don't know if at some point I probably do need to know which entrance is. Although it might just be as simple as it goes to every door. And we need to get the power to here so we can turn this machine on. No idea what it does. But once it's powered from the boiler room, we can figure it out. Here, what's our experiment for today? When you draft a red room, lose 5 steps. A letter will be delivered. While drafting, if you draw a drawing room, a letter will be delivered. I kind of like that. We tried this one before. I couldn't find it. I couldn't find any dirt. You keep getting the empty closet. I'll take the bedroom. Before we go in, let's draft over here, though. The indoor nursery would be good, except I don't have the things for it. I'm gonna take the utility closet so that I can turn on the garage. Oh, wait. And I'll turn that off for now. I might regret that. If we find the key card, it'll be embarrassing. So in the little movie we saw, it said that there was a gate open that we had not opened. And the two places that could be would be back here or on the other side of the house. We have not figured out a way to get to the other side of the house. And this is closed. So it's not here. Nope. So we need to get to the east path. There's got to be a room leading out to the east path that we have not found. Oh. Yes, there are conduits in the garage. I'm not being very good with my steps. No conduits in the bedroom already. This is a dead end if we don't continue somehow. The parlor would send us north, the workshop straight. Let's go to the parlor. I always love the puzzle. Alright, one box is true, one box is false. At least one box of each is true and one false. The gems are in one box is empty, two boxes are empty, one box has gems. This box is not empty. This box contains gems. So we already know that we have a true and a false box. All statements that contain the word gems are false. So if this were true, it would be false. Because this does contain the word gems. So this cannot be true. But that doesn't mean that one statement it doesn't mean that having gems means that it's a false statement. It's a true statement. It means that there is at least one statement that contains the word gem and is true. Does it? Wait a minute. All statements that contain the word gems are false. And this is false. So that does mean that there must be exactly one statement, at least one. That's not this one that is true. So I think this must be true, right? Otherwise, it would be true that all statements that contain the word gems are false. Because this one's false, and that one would be false. So this is a false box because it is empty. This is a true box. That was a good one. I wonder how many they have. I think you need to solve 40. But I doubt that's all of them. They probably have like, I don't know, 40 of 100 or something. So the mechanarium, we're gonna have 2 doors at least. For these 2 rooms. Or we could just take the den. The den's safer. It's gonna give us 2 guaranteed doors. And a gem. Oh, and I should be checking. No conduits in the parlor. Or the den. I like courtyard because it would let me go south. Well, we got a sledgehammer, but we don't have... Oops. Ah! Sorry about that. We don't have a shovel, so we can't open these. The gift shop? Oh, and we drafted the drawing room, so now a letter has been delivered. Let's draft the gift shop. Anything we can buy? Yeah, we can buy a Mount Holly tea. We still can't buy the Swimbird, which unlocks dare mode. I'll buy the tea. A permanent addition to the walk-in closet. It just looks nice. Yep. Nice. So this would be 2 keys. I mean, a storeroom gives us almost as much. If not more. Oh, and no conduits in the storeroom or the shop. Excuse me. Excuse me. Storeroom. There's not many rooms of conduits. And of course, none of the green rooms would have them. I would assume. So, courtyard. Let's take the chapel. Bum bum. Bum. And we're sheltered from the effect, which is a waste. I hope that means we're going to be sheltered forever in the chapel, so we'll never spend money. But that's like one of the less egregious red rooms. But hey, we got a bishop. Okay, well, I mean, this is one of our few opportunities to actually do this. A empty closet from a red room. I hope it doesn't protect me from a red room, but it probably will. Yeah, I'm sheltered from the closet. Metal detector. Banana. Compass. Okay. So I have that silver key. Do I want to use that? Like, I've got a lot of keys. The den will get us over here. I think it's okay. Oh, there's still something here? Yep, some coins. Okay, so there's our way down. Should we go back to the den? I think I'm gonna go back. So the gym isn't any better than a workshop though in this case. Let's take the workshop. Another lever? Oh no, we didn't. The lever was last time. No? Where? Is it on the table? Ah, there's some coins. And the workshop does not have conduits, which is unfortunate. I thought this one I would have guessed would have had. Take the bedroom, or one of the bedrooms. And we get a free gem. This is the one safe I know. Or well, I do know I got the date from the secret room. The what's it called? The shelter we have. Yummy. And no conduit. Let's take the commissary. A shovel would be nice. Lots of gems. Now, we did just get something delivered to here. But the pantry would let us continue. I think we continue. Like, I'm assuming the letter to the mailroom is, like, persistent. Like, we can get that tomorrow or any other day. Like, I bet that letter from the Cinca dude was a similar thing. I just don't remember if we ever got drafted the exact same thing. The office I want the office, but this would be a dead end, unfortunately. Let's take the library. And we can request our next book. So we got the History of Arindia, the first edition. I kind of want to get the Sightseer's Guide again. But for now I'm going to get the Curse of Black Bridge. That's the other one that we bought from the book room. From the bookstore. Ah. Oh, and no conduits. In the library. or the pantry, right? I'm not sure. We'll walk through it again and find out. This would not be a bad freezer because we got a ton of gems. I haven't been in the ballroom though. I have been in the attic. It's got a ton of items in it, but the ballroom I've not been in. And we're gonna lose our gems when we go in here. So maybe we don't go in yet. We go somewhere else, go back to the foundation, and then we can come out here later. When we've spent our gems. I hate to give away 7 gems. Considering we just paid for them all. Alright, am I going the right way? Yeah, just straight across. We'll make sure to deliver this down if we can at the end of the day. I need to have a room that is expansive. So not the goat check. Not good choices. Mechanarium would give me at least 2 rooms, right? 3 doors. From the workshop and utility closet. Yeah, let's do that. Not a good choice. What other room did I get that has that? Oh, the lab also is one. Yep, fair enough. So that's how we have 4. Last time we got a door like right here, and it was leading into the corner. The pool. I kind of like the patio. I kind of don't want the pump room or the sauna right now. The sauna's not bad, but let's go for the patio. So this is persistent. We got that. A file cabinet key. That's what we found in there. So I want to get out there into this part of the world. But I haven't figured out how yet. Have I been in the master bedroom? The boiler room I definitely want, but I don't think I've been in the master bedroom. Ever. Let's take it. Bunch of steps. This is an actual sword. It's not just like a wall hang. Well, I mean, you know, it's not actual in the sense that it's in the game. I'll look at that in a moment. Is this red? Yeah, this is Red Prince. To my encouraging uncle who opened many doors for me, from Mary. P.S. They something... I don't know. And she says that she made this about me, but it ended up being incredibly political because the colors of the current regime are red. The House Fen. Yeah, there's our mom. We were wearing a little locomotive. And this is just a little tiny house. Well, actually, this is quite a big house. I got a double garage. It's bigger than my house. But it's not a mansion. She gave up her wealth and her position to live as a commoner. We'll look at the puzzle in a moment. Okay. Oh, there's no conduits here. There's our signet. We've already seen that. That was the same as in the wine cellar. So I don't need to write it down again. No conduits in the master bedroom. Herb, the controls for the foundation elevator are located behind the foundation wall. I figured that out a long time ago. This means the controls can only be accessed by another room adjacent to the foundation. Unclear if this is a security feature or a flaw. It's a test. But I'm glad they include things like this. It makes me, you know, feel better about potentially being able to solve this game in time. I wish they'd let me get to that. See that? It's a blue? I don't know. The stamp? Simon, I never intended to finish writing this letter, but by now you must know the... Is this when he died? He was writing me this letter? By now you must know the truth. That? Maybe he was writing this letter when he fell over dead. Shot by a cannon from behind. Alright, let's see the puzzle. Morajai box. We've already seen these. Yeah, we've read this. Okay. So to solve this one, we need to make this one go here. Or do we? No, I think we do. This is me just seeing if I can stumble upon the answer. Is it really as simple as just when you the neighboring turn on and some of them turn off? I think it is. There. Allowance token. Okay. Well, not a lot going on in this room. There's something we can't read in here. And it was just a good room in general because they restored a bunch of steps. And if we hadn't known about this, it would have been very helpful. Okay, the patio did not have conduits. The mechanarium, oddly enough, did not have conduits. How about the gym? We're sheltered from the negative effect, which means we wasted our shelter on the least problematic effects because this was already turned off. The gym does not have conduits. And now we're gonna draft the furnace right next to us. Security. Dinner is served. Dining room has food for us. Right there. Let's see what we missed. 2 gems and 1 battery pack somewhere. Really? I missed a battery pack? Maybe in the ballroom? And we've turned off the system already, right? So we should set security to high. So there'll be more of these doors instead of using up our own keys. Right, the utility was right at the front. Okay. Haven't seen the trophy room before. And I can't get it now, unfortunately. Too bad. I don't like Freezer today. I don't really like Kochek either. And this does cut us off on the right side of the house. Too bad we can't get that. Now I'm curious, can I check another item without retrieving? You already have an item checked. Yeah. I don't... Yeah. Waste. The laundry room? Or the boiler room? So at some point I want to try to connect the boiler room to the foundation. I need to connect the boiler room to the lab. But they're so far away here, we're not gonna be able to do it this time. So there's any reason to take it? I think just to get the extra door. Passage. All right, and of course the boiler room has conduits. And I believe the passageway does too. Passageway. No, that was the wrong thing. Turn that back on. It's this one we hit. And now we can activate this. Take the observatory. Maybe we'll get a better draw today. Key. And rooms of 4 doors are more common. I like it. Although red rooms tend to be 4 doors also. So we're gonna get like the archives right here, probably. Weight room. That's the one I want to have protected, be protected from. So I think there's a prize behind this door. Ah, well, at least it paid for itself. And then over here. You can hear that boiler room through the wall. Oh, Great Hall, no conduit. Oh, the lever was here too. I'm out of gems. We have to take the dark room. All right, let's go back to the ballroom, I guess. It's a long way back. But we have to stop by the dining room anyway. Am I good, or do I want to try to go into this room first? Let's try to go into this room first. It's gonna waste one of these ways will lead to it. Not this one. All right. The office. But I can't. I don't have the gems. Oh. Wow, they're just killing me with these gem requirements. Anything on this? No. Okay. Guest bedroom, no conduits. West Wing Hall, no conduits. We're just burning through our keys, I gotta tell you. Her ladyship's chamber. Oh, if we don't get the office, oh, I'm gonna be annoyed. Because this is such a rare room. We've gotten this, what, twice? Yeah. Oh, there's something new. Gain an additional effect of each constellation observed. Well, that would have been useful a bit ago. Don't have this, diary. Does it never end? I'm not sure what to make of this either. No conduit. Okay, we're closed out. Back to the passageway. Actually, I'm not going to go in the passageway yet. I'm going to wait till we have gems. Or wait, what was the office? The office, how much does that require? It doesn't tell, needs 2. Okay. So we're gonna go back to the other place. Don't suppose I can get the effect second after already looking at it. Maybe I can. Now it's not popping up. Oh, I think I might have screwed it up. There we go. Now they're super common. I'm not going to get this yet. We also can get here from the Mechanarium also, so yeah. Right, that door is open. Food. I do have the boiler house. So we have a ton of steps now. Over 100 steps. Okay, through the chapel, through the den, through the workshop. Can I craft anything new? Nah. Clara and Simon in Eclipse Fall 1952. Oh, more music sheets. Nice. Under these stars the dance is held, and to the floor we are compelled. The gowns glide on and music swells, and at the end the clock strikes 12. What that means only time can tell. Okay, so this is 6. Where we have our other ones. Okay, so ballroom 6. The first words, no, the bolder words is R. First words on the sheets are something, and then the I haven't been to the greenhouse ever in a long time. Like, we went there once. 6 is under the stones, probably. Under 2. 2 remain for one last dance and spin again around clock hands. And as they turn, a second chance to rise above the falling sands, the true time lost in past romance. Ballroom 7. True. First words on the sheets are true message. And the words on the first words are first among the white under 2 stones. And we need to get the greenhouse to figure out under the white what. Find among the white, find among the white under 2 stones. Under 2 stones. There's no battery here. I wonder where I missed the battery then. Maybe it's in the shelter. I like the dove coat just where it is. This is gonna be another one of those times where there's a bazillion things to get and we're not able to. I'm pretty sure we read all this. Lower the something to watch it. Okay, ballroom and dovecote do not have conduits. So very few rooms actually have conduits. We have to get very lucky to get them next to each other. All right, so we're running out of space. Let's take the mage chamber, I guess. The mailroom. And I can't get the rotunda. Haven't been in this room yet. The weight room would let me get to the next room that the passageway also points at. The mailroom would give me benefits, though. Order placed. And there should be a new letter today, right? Yeah. So this was Simon's. Oh, that was to me. Simon, it's Randolph again. In my last letter, I mentioned the terminal network, but it completely slipped my mind to give you the network password. Even with all offsite connections disabled, you should still be able to access the local network. I know. I already have the password. Well, that didn't help. And I can't even see the stamp. Sad. Okay, all the way back around to the passageway, I guess. Or to the mechanarium. It's gonna need a key, isn't it? We won't have it. We can buy a key. It's this way, right? No, that's back towards the parlor. Oh, I wanted it to be the office. That's a shame. We'll get the archives then, I guess. Archives has conduits. Yeah, and it's connected to the passageway. Where is it? Why can't I go this way? That was weird. It was like I was hitting something. Did I? I don't know. It felt suddenly. It's like it's hard to move around here. Like there's a weird collision, maybe. So we opened this one. But now we have, but there's two. Okay, wait a minute. Let me make sure I got this. So this is the one we already read. And I'm just trying to see if there's anything we might have missed when we looked at this last time. Yes, this is some. Well, we already got this though. This is part of their signet, and I did not recognize it before, but we apparently got it right already. I'll write it down though. Again, this is telling me how many, what their arcs look like, or their rays look like that. So this is archery. This is, which one is it? It's this one. It's Arenaries, which we already have done. I thought I already did this. Well, I can write it down again. So this is Arenaries. We already have it written down, but that's fine. It's got flower moats and triple rays. I'm not even, now I'm doubting myself. We got it. That's the one that we got. Oh well. What about this one? So we have a house disc. Nice. And a certificate. Aha! This document attests that Mary Matthew Epson was born to Lady Clara and Simon in this hospital at 4:05 Tuesday, the 22nd of January in the 6th era, 1958. And our doctor was Lily Rizian Rose, and the registrar was Sarah Drivian. And this is the signet for Fenris, which we have seen multiple times, right? Fenris. Why don't I have it written down? I could swear that I have written these down. Yeah, here it is. Well, this is about the stamp. Did I really never write down the Fenris moats and stuff? Well, let's do it now. Fenris, it's the Pentagon country. It's red, we know. It's got wavy outsides. What's that called? The border. It's got spiky moats. Which are martial. Which we could have already guessed. It's got, its rays are four directions. So cardinal. and they look like single straight line with cross hatch, small, long. Okay, so that's that. That's the symbol. For this birth certificate, though, we're going to write this down. So this is Mary Matthew Epson's birth certificate. Interesting. She took her mother's name. Her last name. I guess Simon married into the family, and the Clara Epson was the she held the line. Born to Lady Clara Epson and Simon H. Sinclair. (4:05 a.m. Tuesday on Jan 22nd. Let's put this with the rest of our dates. Mary is born. I bet that's a safe thing. It's a important date. Dr. Lily Risian Rose. Registrar Sarah Drivian. Probably those don't matter at all. Oh, East Reddington Hospital. There's nothing else here. Nowhere else to go. We need to turn in our disc. A security room right there. We'll just go to there. Aquarium's already a good room. Goldfish aquarium. Goldfish will give me some money. Will give me a star? It's a power source. Oh. Oh, that's good. I like that. Oh, definitely we're taking that one. Electric eel aquarium. I like that. That's funny. So it'll actually contribute to these conduits? There's so few rooms that have them. I mean, how can we not do that? Do I want to check anything? I don't think so. I think, yeah. We only got this to trigger once, which is unfortunate. Let's go back to the foundation. And we'll set that to the right place. We have 90 steps left. That's just silly. Well, usually I only do 2 runs per video, but that usually is 2 hours. We're only at an hour and a half. I think we do a 3rd run. And if that ends up going long, this might be a 3-hour video, but What can you do? I think that's it. I think that's all we can do today. We didn't get the office, unfortunately. I need to get both her ladyship's chamber and the office at the same time, I think. Well, maybe. Let's go to check out the chess puzzle and just see if anything happens when we put the chess piece in the right place. But we don't have anywhere to put the white king right now. That's the issue. So I don't think it's going to do anything. But that's a high requirement. Trying to make sure you have all that. Bum bum. Bum bum. Here we are. So her ladyship's chamber is in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 1. It lit up, so that's good. What else? We've got the chapel in 4, 5. What's a rook room? But there's no way this persists. We're gonna have to get lucky with our placement. So a rook room is the vault or the nook. We have a nook in the bottom left. Okay. When I first found this room, I thought that this might be setting. It might be like forcing certain rooms to appear. But no, it's very clearly you have to display. You have to draft the right rooms. And I'll do the ones we have. So a white knight is security, and then dining room. I need to actually see what those are. Security is 8-4, and dining room is 4-4. And we don't have anywhere to put the king. Tragic. We need to draft the office. And we saw the office. We just didn't have the gems for it. We're so close to getting this puzzle that day. Okay, let's put the elevator back up. I guess we could check a few more rooms. Check the safes. Where is there a safe? I'm not sure. But we spent some time looking at a safe. No, there's a safe in the drawing room. There's a safe. Do I have that written down anywhere? There's one in the office. There's one in the boudoir. There's one in the bunker that we got. There's one in the drawing room. And I know there's another one that we saw this time. It's not one in the library. You know, I never actually looked around the drawing room. There could be something in there. There probably isn't. There wasn't a safe in the master bedroom. Maybe I'm thinking of the last run. It was so quick. There's no safe in the parlor, is there? No. Yeah, there's no safe here. Never mind. Well, next time we see a safe, we'll have another combination to check. Because her birthday seems like the kind of thing you put in a safe. Your kid's birthday? Or I guess your niece's birthday? Let's go ahead. New day. Bum bum. Bum bum. Red House of Cogs. And ballroom is new. Oh, what was the other new one? The master bedroom was new also. We almost filled the entire place. We just didn't get this. And it would have been perfect if we just had a bit more gems here. We could have gotten the office and that would have taken us to the corner. Bum bum. Bum bum. Bum bum. Bum bum. There's still another one of these that we haven't gotten. It's probably whatever lets me get into the east room, the east gate. The library right away? I like it. Get to read the book. The Curse of Black Bridge. Have I already read this? It was gifted by me. Because I bought it, of course. The legend of Black Bridge is one that's well known to the people of the Grand Realm, for the version of this tale has been passed down from generation to generation. With each telling, the story has changed, becoming more colorful and increasingly horrifying. Alright. Is this going to be a big thing? I think it might be. Okay, how many pages is this? Oh my god, this is a big thing. Okay. Let's read. Many years ago, before peace had become a familiar word, there lived a group of rogues so wayward that locals deemed it appropriate to call their number the Unholy Hounds. They were feral outlaws composed of society's worst, in a time when society was at its worst. And for each crime that fearful travelers credited to the group, a dozen more lay unclaimed, each worse than the last. For the gentry, however, who often value their coffers more than their companions, no crime could measure more wicked than the group's primary enterprise: high road robbery. One such member of this so-called band of rogues was a boy of 13 years, Jesper, who had not been lucky in life, having lost 2 brothers to war and parents to famine. In the years of hunger that followed, Jesper lived in a gutter behind a churchyard, relying on the nourishment of scurrying bugs and weeds harvested from the cracks of alleyway to sustain his pitiful existence. It is not surprising that a child aiming to escape such hardships would take any easy road out. An easy and well-traveled road, paved with temptations, leading out of the city and into the gentry lands, where loose purse strings entwine with the strands of salvation, and glisten equally with the hope of opportunity. It was this road that eventually led Jesper to the end of his youth, a hidden cave at the bottom of Black Bridge Canyon. It was here that he met his surrogate family and saviors, that notorious gang of godless outlaws known as the Unholy Hounds. Despite the hardened circumstances that had led him to his vocation of banditry, Jesper was surprisingly tender-hearted, and was often teased by the group for being too kind for such an ignoble life. For this reason, Jesper was assigned the innocent role of berry picker. It was not just innocence that set berry picking apart from the gang's more wicked undertakings, for it was the only duty performed without the safety of night's concealment. Jesper, no stranger to solitude, did not protest that he alone worked while the others slept soundly, tucked away in the cave at the bottom of Black Bridge Canyon. On one such occasion, Jesper decided to get an early start. He left the cave, berry basket in hand, and set out into the woods before the morning sun had even brushed against the tallest treetops. It was colder in the mornings, but the headway dawn afforded meant Jesper could reach the furthermost berry patches without worry of being chastised for tarrying upon his return. It took over 3 hours on foot to reach his destination, and along the way Jesper had passed by many a familiar bush, all priorly pillaged and so bereft of berries that one would have to dedicate several moments in earnest examination before finding a single one. Jesper was patient, but even patience has its limits. He was confident that even accounting for the time lost to this long stretch of travel, his efforts would be well worth the pains. Surveying the patches in this new grove surprised even Jesper. The red dots suspended among the leaves seemed as numerous as stars in the skies. Upon seeing such a bounteous sight, he clutched his berry basket tightly and nearly toppled over out of joy. Once he had regained his senses, Jesper quickly made a decision. He would not reveal the location of this newfound treasure. Instead, he would earn the respect of his confederates, who, upon seeing his yield, might attribute the success to hard work. Smiling at his plan, Jesper set off to fill his basket, and was making steady strides in this task, when the sound of thundering hooves interrupted him. A carriage! A carriage is approaching! The thought of it made Jesper freeze. Had he been so enchanted by his discovery that he neglected to observe his surroundings? How could a roadway be so close? He ducked down and crept toward the impending sound, hiding behind one of the larger bushes nearby. It was only a moment before the sound source revealed itself. Within 50 paces of where Jesper hid, an elegant carriage with gold trim came soaring around a corner of trees, led by 2 beautiful white horses, and conveyed by a stern-looking driver seated atop the vehicle, flaunting the most sophisticated regalia Jesper had ever seen. It was not just any carriage, it was a royal carriage. Even without ever having witnessed such a sight before, Jesper was certain. The sight had so transfixed Jesper that he stood awestruck, unable to tear away as the carriage approached. The little concealment the bush provided was soon proven unequal to the driver's lofty perch, and upon spotting the boy, he pulled the reins with such effect that the noble steed slid to a sudden halt with precise control. "You, boy, get out from behind that bush," he shouted, with a rigidity that betrayed a modest amount of fear. "You startled me half to death coming round the bend of my own drive, and me seeing such an unfamiliar face in a place where there ought to be any face." Jesper quickly contemplated running. The man was much older. His dress was suitable for courtly behavior, not dashing through bramble and mud. I was picking berries." Jesper raised the half-filled basket up to allow the driver to see the proof of his words. The demeanor of the man suddenly changed. It was a change that Jesper was familiar with. He had many times seen the same stern expressions on the most fiendish bandits melt away when presented with a berry basket. Any suspicions that the driver might have had instantly evaporated, for even the notion of a member of the unholy hounds picking berries seemed farcical. The softened expression even made allowances for a smile. "Berries, eh? Say, you couldn't have picked a better spot for them, could you? I used to pick berries here as a boy." Jesper took his cue to finally step forward out from behind the bush, proudly brandishing his basket. "I know, and what luck I found them. I have only just begun picking, and look how many I have. It would have taken me 4-fold the time back home to procure this number." The driver bent down for a closer look. "And where is your home, boy? It must be quite far." Jesper replied with a scripted response. "A little south of Tanner Fork, just past the burnt woods." "My God, that is far. You couldn't have come all that way only this morning." It was true. Tanner Fork was in the exact opposite direction that Jesper had traveled, and while that response would seem perfectly reasonable in a location closer to Black Bridge Canyon, he could see why it might seem less believable here. Sir, I have traveled much further for much less profit. I dare say there is no distance yet made by man that would not be worth undertaking for a prize such as these. Surely you have tasted them for yourself? Jesper felt happier with this response, as it seemed to amplify the man's smile. In my youth, often, but perhaps I took it for granted, because I never had to travel very far. And even then, my father would always drive us here in a carriage, so I'm ashamed I never had to walk such a stretch to earn an equal reward. It was Jesper's time to smile. Then let my efforts reward us both today. He raised the basket even higher. A taste in memory of your youth, sir. The driver chuckled and removed one glove, bending over the seat to reach down to the basket. And at the moment his fingers touched the first berry, the dagger in turn met his throat, cutting through a superficial layer of skin and drawing blood. Jesper caught the man's startled eyes. And for that taste, I will have your purse, sir, in memory of my youth. The driver's arm had gone stiff, his chin raised and trembling, more frightened than he had ever been before. Whether unable or incapable of speaking, he did not respond to the boy. Perhaps he did not think his jaw could afford to be engaged at this particular time. Jesper let the basket drop, freeing his other hand to probe the man's pockets. Do not mistake me, sir. I will not kill you if you give me no cause. Though I'll admit, the thought of taking your carriage and leaving you the indignity of walking appeals to me. Unable to find a purse in the man's coat, Jesper pivoted to search the seat under him. Why have you no purse upon your person? The driver slowly raised his hand cautiously, pointing toward the carriage door behind him. Jesper lowered the knife's edge a small degree to allow the man to speak, which he did in turn softly. There's a lockbox in the carriage. Well, come down then and grant me the courtesy of sparing your life and binding your hands. A concession, I assure you, of my tender heart, for it would be much easier to slit your throat. The man started to comply, slowly lowering himself from the driver's seat of the carriage. Once down, Jesper guided him away from the carriage to a nearby tree, where he instructed him to get on his knees and put his hands behind his back. Excusing his inexperience, the man indulged Jesper while he figured out how to adequately bind him. The smile and kindness Jesper had seen on this man's face, now nothing more than a distant memory. In their place, cold, dark eyes, displaying no emotion. I wonder, should I grant you the same clemency you are showing me? Jesper stopped, surprised by the question, but ignored it, secured the final bindings, and then hastily returned to the carriage. With one hand on the door's handle, he turned back to the man. If there's no lockbox, there'll be no clemency. Inside, the carriage was surprisingly dusty and unswept, a stark contrast to the elegant and polished golden facade of the exterior. It had apparently been many years since a passenger had enjoyed passage in this vehicle. This all but confirmed what Jesper had suspected. The driver of this carriage was not a liveried servant in the employ of some greater master. Any curiosity this observation might have further produced was quickly abandoned upon seeing what rested under the carriage's back seat. A large wooden lockbox. Despite its hefty appearance, the box was surprisingly easy to handle. Within a few moments, Jesper had dislodged it from its hold and carried it out into the sunlight. Inspecting the box carefully, two observations were made. Totemic symbols found carved on all four sides of the box hinted the box was very old, and likely not created by Arindian hands. It reminded him of artifacts from the old world, and was presumably crafted in one of the ancient realms. Secondly, the box was secured by a rusted yet robust padlock, and would not open easily without a key. Jesper looked over to see the driver quietly observing from his indentured position. Do you perhaps have a key you can provide me to open this box? Without emotion, the driver replied, There is no key to that box. Jesper stood up. Easy enough, then. He headed over to a nearby rock of sizable dimensions and lifted the stone up, carrying it back to the box. If there was ever a time when that lock had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. With one hit, the stone had completely shattered the rusted lock. He bent down and opened the lid. Inside was an effigy, a crude figure chiseled from stone. Without too much deliberation, Jesper bent down and picked it up, somewhat surprised how heavy it seemed given how light the box had felt. Having expected to find something more akin to gold or gems, he looked questioningly to the man, hoping to find an explanation. The driver's smile had once again returned. "You are cursed, boy, for deadly is the stone. You have opened that which should never have been opened, and you are cursed." Jesper carried the effigy over to the man and shoved it in front of his face. "What is it?" "That's one." Feeling his disappointment rise into anger now, Jesper tightened his grip on the effigy. "One what, you mumbling Asiantor? And in God's name, why have you no purse upon your person?" The man did not seem intimidated. "One pace. 12 more and you'll be dead." He only had a second to flinch before the effigy struck him in the head and put an end to his cryptic ramblings. If there was ever a time when the old man had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. Jesper looked down at the sculpted stone figure, now splattered red. Was it cursed? Was he cursed? He had, of course, heard stories of curses, and had never doubted their validity in the past, but now that he was standing face to face with the possibility of being cursed, his mind pleaded with him to be skeptical. And if he was cursed, what difference would the knowledge make? A dozen more paces would not be enough to find another living soul, to say nothing of the chances of procuring a remedy. If he did not move from where he now stood, he could live maybe another 3 or 4 days, maybe more given the abundance of nearby berries. A plan that, if we ignore its obvious faults, might provide additional opportunities for help to come along. But what good would that do? To be discovered here, beside a body, stolen goods in hand, bloated from berries and raving about a curse that could very well not be real. No. It would most certainly be better to face one's fate now, take a dozen paces, and see if life goes on. But Jesper found his legs unable to make that first step. His mind was unable to convince his limb to waste away 1/12 of his life in a single motion. Feeling the desperation sink in, he hopelessly looked about him for a solution. And if, by some stroke of luck, the gods had heard his plea, a miracle materialized before him, as if he found himself suddenly at the end of a fairy tale. 2 white horses and a carriage of golden trim were beside him, the answer to his immediate prayers. He laughed at his fortune and calculated the short number of paces back to the road. 4. Perhaps only 3 if he jumped. He made a quick survey to see if there was anything he wished to grab before taking the plunge. He thought about removing the driver's fancy coat, as that appeared to be of some value, but the additional risk of undertaking such a task, too great a chance. And so, after a profound breath, he took his 2nd, 3rd, and 4th steps, though they were quite large. Seated now behind the horses, he reached for the reins, and suddenly realized that he was still gripping the effigy. If the curse was real, then it would most certainly be better left here. If, on the other hand, the story was fictitious, there might be some appraisal that could be made of the figure. It was, after all, found within a lockbox, whose typical function oft secures objects of value. Having witnessed firsthand the horrors of destitution, Jesper found his mind equally reluctant to allow his hand to let go. If it is cursed, I die. If not today, then tomorrow. And if I die, what care have I? And with that statement said aloud, to the horses seemingly, Jesper took up the reins with confidence. Okay. Interesting story. Part 2. Miller awoke to some light nudging from a familiar foot. Only one person would have the cheek to awaken her in such ill-mannered fashion. Shaking the sleep from her eyes, she glared up at him in the darkness, but did not say a word. He nudged her again teasingly, then stepped back into the dim. After taking a moment for her eyes to adjust to the darkness of the cave, Miller remembered. She was on 3rd watch today. Quietly collecting her things and wits, Miller turned as she left, waving to her young friend, who was more than likely already asleep. She crept through the cavern's main passage, careful not to wake the sleeping bandits around her. Like a hero in a book, she often mused. Quietly, she grabbed a bow from the haphazardly formed pile of weapons, shaking the accompanying quiver in the darkness to assess how many arrows it held. She then walked toward the sun-drenched mouth of the cavern, ready to start her shift. Above her, in one of the few trees found in the canyon, Miller could see that Ravia was already posted. She waved, and Ravia waved back. Calling out to each other was strictly forbidden. Anything louder than a gesture in the canyon was forbidden. When Miller reached the tree, Ravia lowered a braided rope and pointed to the ground behind her. Miller turned, following the finger, and saw a pail of water resting beside a nearby log. She turned back to Ravia, nodded, and secured the pail to the rope. The pail went up first, and in turn, Miller followed. Ravia reached across to grab the water. Miller leaned back to give her space. There was not much room for maneuvering in this tree post, a necessary concession for the concealment the outpost demanded. Ravia tilted the pail up to her mouth dramatically, illustrating how thirsty she had been. Miller laughed silently as water poured out, splashing onto Ravia's face. It was a bit too daring and noisy of a joke, and had others been around, they would have certainly been scolded for the unwarranted sound. But Miller appreciated the efforts Ravia took to verbalize the silence of the morning. They had been on third watch together for over a month, and during that speechless time, their friendship had grown into something special. Affection was unsurprisingly scarce among the unholy hounds. She had felt camaraderie before, but intimacy never. From their elevated vantage, the girls could see both the concealed entrance of the cavern, as well as a clear view of the bridge that spanned across the canyon. Black Bridge was the link between the Gentry lands and the northern mountains, the overpass that connected Oris and Reddington. To the city-faring travelers of the realm, the bridge was an unavoidable crossing. In the day, the task was to ensure that travelers pass by without stopping. At night, the task was to ensure that they do. Like most of our band, Miller preferred the night. The biting glare of the sun might be tolerable to farmhands and bricklayers, but to a cavern-housed bandit, it was a source of constant annoyance. In the day, there was no shroud to conceal her expressions, nor to hide her thoughts. She felt exposed. Ravia touched her elbow and pointed up. Miller, striving to suppress a budding smile, suddenly shook her head in response. There were many signs the unholy hounds used in lieu of words, but the two of them had developed an extended vocabulary. Gestures quietly forged in the shared solitude of their month among the branches. She watched as Ravia shifted, placing her palms flat on the floorboards beneath them. Miller knew what she was trying to say, but shook her head a second time. It was often more fun to pretend not to understand. Ravia rolled her eyes and turned away, looking back to the canyon. Squinting through the leaves, the two girls held still, watching and listening. It was not long until Miller, too, heard the sounds of approach. Ravia held up two bent fingers, and a few moments later, two men emerged from the bridge's southern end. They were dressed in a familiar uniform. Long gray coats with black facings, white waistcoats, and a black tricorn hat. They belonged to the local patrol, the Blackguard. Although not an everyday occurrence, their presence at Black Bridge wasn't an unusual sight. It typically indicated an important traveler's impending passage across the bridge, information the girls would promptly relay to their leaders as soon as the coast was clear. But this report, while exciting, was rarely acted upon. In Miller's 5 years in the Unholy Hounds, she had never once seen a carriage taken in open daylight when the Blackguard was nearby. The men had nearly reached the bridge's north end when Miller heard the horses, faintly at first, but growing louder with each passing moment. Ravia's eyes met Miller's, the same concern mirrored in each other's expression. This did not sound like the typical carriage, cautiously approaching the bridge to cross. Instead of the familiar crunch of the high road's gravel, they heard the harsh clattering of hoofbeats against stone. Both girls quickly redirected their attention downwards, looking through the foliage. The sounds were not coming from the high road, but from the canyon itself. The horses were coming from below the bridge. In an instant, Miller had knocked an arrow and drawn her bow. Go! Ravia was gone before the whisper had even left Miller's mouth. The young scout was already sliding down the bank below, racing toward the cave. There was no road that ran below the canyon. There was no reason for numerous horses to be approaching their cave. There was only one reasonable conclusion, and both girls had reached it instantly. The base had been compromised. This was a blackguard attack. The moment the horses came into view, Miller let loose her first arrow. She was surprised to see a carriage. She'd expected cavalry. Before she even finished processing that thought, her second arrow was in the air. Without a trail, it would be unthinkable for a carriage to traverse such rough terrain. Yet she watched as the wheels jolted over the rocky riverbed. A third arrow was now in flight, and there would be no need for a fourth. The driver slumped over just moments before the vehicle dipped into a small ditch, slamming into an embankment. The force of this sudden halt immediately shattered the front two wheels and catapulted the driver from his seat. Utterly confused now, Miller quickly glanced over her shoulder to see if any horses were also approaching from the rear. Down in the canyon, the entire horde of the unholy hounds came spilling forth from the earth, as if hell itself had suddenly sprung open. The group seemed even more bewildered than Miller, half asleep and tripping over one another in a desperate attempt to engage an unseen enemy in combat. Miller could see Ravia among their number, the only one looking up at her. Her expression was chilling. There would be no need for a silent gesture to convey what they both now realized. They had made a mistake. The gang's chieftain, Joffrey Heartslasher, led the others, cautiously approaching the crashed carriage like a suspicious fox would near a baited trap. There were no words exchanged as the group crept forward in customary silence. A dozen or so paces in front of the wreckage lay the far-flung driver, an arrow protruding from his broken body, and beside him a blood-stained effigy carved from stone. Miller was inconsolable. Jesper had always been her favorite. He'd always shadowed her in the night, clinging to the hems of her every move, the way a child tails behind an older sibling. Tender-hearted, she had always called him, though deep down she had known that wasn't quite true. His appearance of gentleness concealed a raw, resilient durability that emerged in the most perilous of situations. He had been a flower among the nettles of this cave, but he still had thorns, honed by a grim past and 100 hands of misfortune. They buried him in the darkness, in the back of one of the larger cavern rooms. He was interred with a berry basket and a silk handkerchief that he had treasured. The mysterious effigy they had found beside him served as a distinguished gravestone, a marker that stood out as somewhat special among the rows of similar swords marking neighboring plots. No one spoke, not even in whispers. There was nothing to say. Miller awoke the next day to a thunderous shaking and rattling of the earth, a far cry from the playful nudging of the previous day. She strained to adjust her eyes, but the choking sting of stirred-up dust caused her to flinch. Panic was also in the air. The sounds of scurried footsteps and clattering feet filled the space around her. But even in alarm, the silence was louder. What was it that sounded so strange? Miller closed her eyes tight and used her feet to guide her along the passage. The whispers around her were getting louder, and intense voices could be heard ahead. Louder speech than she had ever heard spoken in the canyon. A growing dread grew as Miller approached the mouth of the cave, her eyes now open wide despite the dust. Shouldn't it be day? Miller felt a hand in the darkness pulling at her. It was Ravia. The two embraced, and Miller did not need to see her to understand. Ravia placed 2 bent fingers against Miller's cheek, and with that touch against her face, Miller felt the same sinking feeling from the previous day. 2 bent fingers confirmed what Miller had suspected. The girls had forgotten to relay one critical piece of information to the others. An hour or so later, the screams began. Blood-curdling cries of hopeless desperation. Captain Fodrick Lee of the Blackguard looked down from the ridge of the canyon to the collapsed entrance of the cave. Ah, now they speak. That's grim. That's like a really grim story. That's it. That's the whole story. So the obvious thing, of course, would be that he had 13 steps. And that we have part 1 and part 2. There weren't obvious numbers in this one. Third watch. Here. Let me just be a bit more careful with this. So we'll start from the beginning, just real quickly. The Curse of Blackbridge. Part 1. I'm just looking for numbers. A dozen mortally unclaimed. A boy of 13 years. Two brothers to war. Broters. There are 5 berries outside of the... 5 berries outside of... what do we call it? Basket. In image. 3 hours. Within 50 paces, he hid 2-horse carriage. It would have taken 4-fold to procure as many berries. Do you think I care about things like Tanner Fork? I don't think so. Probably not. All right, so he has 13 steps to live. And he spent 1 towards the man. He spent 3 to get to the carriage. All right. Then in part 2, I'm just going to say this is about someone named Miller. Third watch. And again, Black Bridge is the... I'm going to write this down. So Black Bridge is the gate, is the link between Oris and Reddington. There are 2 blackguards. Three arrows to kill Jesper. And he got a dozen or so spaces. Pieces. 100 hands of misfortune. Probably doesn't mean anything. But I'll write it down. Two bent fingers. And that's it. That is a lot. So the drawing room is all about steps. The drawing room has a bunch of pictures about steps. The whole 12 steps or 13 steps to for him to live. That sounds like maybe that's the thing that's it's pointing at. We'll see when we get to the drawing room. The bookshop. So we still have to get that last clue. Oh, I want Realm and Rune. Oh, I want that. Oh. Ooh. That's the one that's gonna tell me how the different moats and weather and stuff works. Ooh, I didn't realize I needed that until now. Let's not grab it yet, but I'd rather get a new clue. But we can hold back for a Realm and Rune. Oof. Take the storeroom. And I'm being lazy and not noting the conduits. So bookstore. What is that sound I'm hearing? We're so close to the front that I'm not worried about steps for this. But bookstore and storeroom do not have conduits. Storeroom I already have. Bookshop, not my bookstore. And storeroom and library. I already have. That's a weird story. My apologies. Oh, I didn't even get this. Silver key, sleeping mask, bunch of keys. Shall we go get our outside room? Bum bum. Bum bum. Dum bum. Ba-dum. So I would normally think I could go for the shrine, but I want to save my money because I want to buy a book. So maybe the root cellar? Or the trading post? I'll take the trading post. There's no items immediately, right? This was a one-time thing. So I could get a key card. You know what? I'd rather have the key card than the silver key. And I'd rather have salt than the sleeping mask, I think. Although either one of those is kind of doing the same thing. But I tend to avoid drafting bedrooms, so let's take the salt. So hey, actually we made some useful trades. Alright. Rare to get the key card. Now I'm obsessed with stones. We're a little hemmed in. Like we only have this one way to go, and then the foundation. If we can work our way to it, the hallway would open us up again. I like it. And we immediately get bedrooms. Let's take the lab. Although that would be putting it in the edge of the room. Let's not take the lab. Let's try to get the lab more towards the center so that we can maybe power it. Like, I feel like the experiments these days mostly, well, they can give you letters, which I care about. Letters can give you more lore, but they mostly just give me allowance. Take the hallway, I think. Or wait a minute, maybe if we take secret passage, we could say bedroom, and that would give us a greater chance of getting her ladyship's bedroom. I like that idea. But we didn't get it. Car keys? And some steps. I want to get into the drawing room. But that would mean we'd be cut off from the rest of the house. We'd have to go to the foundation. Although this is only going to have one door in it, isn't it? So we're stuck either way. Take the drawing room. It's a waste. We're not getting the benefit of the drawing room. But I want to go in and look at it. Chapter 1, 13 steps. Chapter 2. Like, the obvious thing would be something from this and then something from this. All right. What about this? How many steps do we have in this room? Let me just count them up. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know whether to count that as 3 or not. I'm going to count that as 1. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. 32 paintings. $32.64. Okay, what if these do count as 3? So 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. These aren't dates. Yeah. Okay, well, let's. I thought this might be related to this. This made sense to me. He had 13 steps to live, but it doesn't seem to be. What was her birthday again? Oh, 1/22. Nope. Well, did I count this one? No. Okay, I'm still at a loss for this room. I thought I might have had something. I really thought that 13 from that story was referring to that safe. But maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe it matters who is stepping? Chapter 1 was a young man. How many young man steps do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Chapter 2 is a young woman. But she did have a bow. I don't know if I like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's a date. It says it's a date. So I don't know why I'm counting steps. There weren't any dates in that book. I'm just disappointed it hasn't turned out to be of use. Alright, let's go underground and come back up through the foundation. Ba-dum. Bum-bum. Ba-dum. Ba-dum. Ah, so it starts up no matter what. You have to have the key card. But in this case, we do. You can't leave it ready for the next day, like I thought. Well, that makes the utility closet that much more important, and security. Oh, did I not? The lab up here. You know what? I don't mind having the lab here. That actually fits. Maybe. Because I think this is connected in all directions. I'm not sure, but I think so. I could be wrong. This seems unsafe. Like, I'm hearing gas escaping. I like a letter will be delivered. Every time you unlock or bypass a security door. Too bad we just did one, but we have the the key card, so that seems like it's worthwhile. Give me some lore. There's the office, but I can't get it. Alright, one true box, one false box, at least one of each. And that's, I want to get out here. There's still secrets, still many secrets I have not yet figured out. Okay, there are two false statements. That's possible. This is the only true statement. Again, that's also possible. The white box is empty. Okay, let's figure out the chains. So there are two false statements. If this is true, then that would mean the other two boxes are false. Which means that this is the only true statement is false. Which is consistent. And this is also false. The white box is not empty. Now, if this was false, that there are not two false statements, then there's only one false statement. So this is true. Well, I'm sorry, this is false. So both the other ones are both true. This is the only true, which is false, so that doesn't work. So this is a true box. There are two false statements. These are both false. So the white box is not empty. I'll do the chapel. Just for the hopes of getting into these rooms. There's the office. I'm gonna take the office this time. It will cut us off from the corner, but I want it. Alright, now is this one her birthday? 0122. Nope. What about 0122 1958? Nope. What about 0122 58? Okay. So we have another clue about this. We were given in the conference room, there's something saying put this in the office safe, and they give you a safe thing, but it's written on a red piece of paper, which means that it's not true. What was the not true number? The not true number was 9083. Oh 0916. Oh 0938. I'm so bad at this. I'm just... It's embarrassing that we have so many of these safes and we just have no idea where they are, what they are. It's a little early to spread, but let's see if we have any new email. Nope, just the same ones. Well, at least we placed the office. We never did find that battery pack last time. Wonder where it was. A letter's been delivered. The Nook. And the coupon book. Nice. Take the commissary, I guess. I hate to spend, I'd rather have the gems. What do we got today? We got running shoes, we have gems. And a set of gems. I'm gonna take the set of gems. In the hopes that we'll be able... Oh, well, we're at 20, but to get back to anywhere, we'd have to go through the chapel, so we're gonna be down. But I'm gonna hope we're gonna get back up. Okay, I'll take the West Wing. The showroom. This is also very tempting. What's the ornate compass? You may rotate the first 3 floor plans you draw. That's really cool. I wish you could buy a permanent item to hold, you know, like a permanent slot. Running out of chances to get to her ladyship's room. Veranda. And one more chance. Nope. So we didn't find her ladyship's room this time. We found the office though, so we have the White King but not the Queen. Take the bedroom. I have been so slacking on recording conduit rooms. And I believe she can only have her room spawn on the very far left. So I don't think you can get it anymore. So set security level to high because we have the key card. And offline mode, I think we always want it unlocked. Like, I can't imagine why you'd ever want it to be locked. Even with the key card, you still want it off just in case, you know, the room loses power or something. And I haven't missed anything. I hate to take the archives. Dark room is going to limit us to one room that we won't be able to see. Let's take the archives. You stay unlocked. And this is a conduit room. Seriously, what the hell? I said high security. What's with all these locks? Well, at least we won't accidentally draw the furnace. Mechanarium. So this would be the lever, and that would get us into the antechamber. Sure. I don't particularly need to. But we can get into our room again. There was a thing where it said instructions to follow. Probably be worth checking out. Let's go this way first. Conference room does not have conduits. We can see the lie. After meeting adjourns, take all conference notes and place them in the office safe. Safe code 9083, which is a lie because it's on a red piece of paper. Oh my god, there's so many locked doors. What the hell? So this square, that square, and that square are all locked. Wow. I'm a little bitter about that, I gotta say. So far, our plans are not working out. Anything here? Let's spread. And I'm not going to do payroll today because I don't know when I don't think we have enough rooms to pick it up. Trying to be on the lookout for any gold that's been placed around. Here and there. Got the pool. Another letter delivered at least. Alright, what do we got? 14. 8 plus 7 is 15, minus 10 is 5, times 4 is 20. 20 minus 10 is 10, times 2 is 20, divided by 4 is 5. 2 times 2 is 4, times 10 is 40, times 1 is still 40, divided by 8 is 5. The only safe we've managed to figure out, besides the timed one. And that's it. Dead end. We're done. I guess we can go back to the conference room over here and open up more doors. And I can go down and get the, yeah, I can go and get the other key. There's a red door right there we need to get in. And I think for that we need to have conduit right here. And I don't have it yet. Alright, we don't know anything about diamond. Do I have Pentagon unlocked? I don't. Too bad. Yeah, you don't come down here for a key. You come down here to flick a lever. What was that again? I don't remember. I think it's the map of the lower area. I kind of want to see it again. Here, let's see if we can get there without screwing up our path to this area again. Yeah, that'll work. So I remember there's like a buried floor plan. Floor plan? Somewhere where there's a 10. But I never saw a 10 anywhere. Is it in here somewhere? I wish I had my, my what's it called? My, magnifying glass. Like, I feel like maybe it's this mark or that mark, perhaps. But maybe it's, I think it's somewhere in here. Either way, it's buried and we don't have a shovel. But let's keep that in mind. When we have a shovel and the magnifying glass, let's come back here. Let's come back here and try to figure this out. Do I want to go over there? No. There. But there's probably just like nothing. There's probably nothing at all to show it, and then you just find the right spot and your icon changes. Like, we've seen that happen a few times. I'm just tracing things in the... Yeah. Okay. What's the plan now? So we can't go anywhere else here. I could go back up and try to get over here, but I'd be losing even more money. I want to make sure, I want to see if we can have enough money to buy a book. So let's go back to the front of the house and see if any of those distributed incentives are available, and then we can just buy the book. Yeah, this was a very low item day. Occasionally we've had items like all the way out to here. No coin. And we're running low on steps. Well, I have regrets. It's 20, right? Yeah. We only have 10 steps left. I don't think I can go anywhere. Oh, I wanted to buy that book. Well, if nothing else, what are the odds that none of these rooms would get... Oh! All the spread goes to the conference room, of course. I'm an idiot. The odds are 100% that none of them would. But we don't have the steps to get back to the conference room. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. We can't get there. But if I'd recognized if I'd gone for the conference room right away, we'd be able to at least open up some doors and we'd get the money, but we wouldn't have enough steps to get back out to get to the bookshop. So either way, we're screwed. If nothing else, I can at least just buy one of these drafting strategy books. Or both of them, even. Am I an idiot? Wait a minute. How many coins did I have? No, I had 7 more for each of those. 7. Okay. If I had 19 coins, I could have bought it because I had the coupon book, but I had 18. Right? 7 plus 7, 14. Yeah, I had 18. I really wanted that book. Well, next time. And what the hell? This Curse of Black Bridge did not help me at all. Bad run. Yeah, we had a couple really bad runs today, I'd say. And one we got some lore. It's always good to get lore. Sizable shopping center. Lots of shops. I think that's enough for now. We'll stop here. Well, if nothing else, rereading that book did show us the raise of Fenris, which is good. I'm glad to have that. Not Fenris, it was Arcaries. Yeah. So we're that much closer to getting all the sigils. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching. until next time.